Okay, yes, we are filming tonight because we're hoping to use it as a recruiting tool to get more people interested in First Impressions, as well as if there's someone that is not able to attend, can get an idea of what was discussed. Because I know there are people that just can't get here. So I want to welcome all of you, and I appreciate you giving up your time this evening because I know how valuable our time is. And so we're going to go through this, and I'm hoping to have a lot of discussion and dialogue with everyone so we can figure out how we can, if we need to change, what we need to change, what we do that's good, what we need to change, if that's necessary. So I'd like to start with an opening prayer, if you'll bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to serve you in this way. We thank you that we have this beautiful house to praise you in, and that you guide each of us as we work in first impressions so that we make those impressions that we are here to show people the way to you. We thank you and praise you, Lord. Amen. I'm just going to read a very short. It's called Going Fishing. I'm a bit of an introvert. Ironic, huh? The connecting guy is shy, kind of. When I'm not in my own environment, my home, my church, my friends, I feel pretty safe up against the wall by myself. However, when I'm in my passion area, in my own environment, I try to meet new people. Jason Hester, executive pastor of ministries at Pine Lake Church in Brandon, Mississippi, calls it fishing. He says he patrols the hallways looking for people who look lost. When he identifies them, he tries to catch them, welcome them, and help them feel at home. It's tempting for most of us to gravitate towards our friends, introvert or extrovert. We enjoy the community and the safety of talking with people we know, but on the weekends at our church, it's not just about you. It's about others who don't have a friend to gravitate toward, not yet anyway. Look around and go fishing. No? Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about what we're not fishing. We're going to talk about what we need to be doing. But Jeff has offered to, or I asked him, and he said yes, I should say. Not that he offered. But he's going to talk a little bit about security because of all the things that are going on in this world. I think we kind of need to sharpen ourselves a little bit in that area. So he's going to come up and talk to us. And your papers I gave you have places for notes and things. So just jot down some things as they come to mind during this whole thing. And we're going to try to do some collective thoughts process. And we're going to let Jeff talk.
And I get this. For those of you who don't know, we're starting a new security program for the church. Not only for a threat that would come in, but for anybody that would become ill, a weather disaster, any possibility that would happen within the church. We are starting a security team that will be able to assist in all those matters. We had a meeting last night, went fairly well. There's a lot of things to work out and a lot of volunteers to get. Anywhere from nurses, firefighters, anybody willing to help on security. And if you notice on Sundays for the last several months, I've been in the lobby. The reason for that security. If somebody was a threat and coming in, the first the first doors they come across are our children. And to me, I think somebody needs to be there. Now that they got the TV out there, I'm not missing anything. So it's good, the direction, and I think a lot of people are on board and ready to go for it. So anybody who wants to volunteer to be on security team, whatever they call it, we're calling it a security team for now, that wants to help, they can contact me or any of the trustees. But we'll start with security. The lead usher or me, because there's Sundays I'm not here because of work, vacation, go camping a lot. But anyway, lead usher or whoever else is working security out in the lobby, get a hold of them if you see anything that kind of makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. But we can start out in the parking lot. That's where people are greeted first. And I don't see anybody that works parking lot besides me, and you used to. You're inside now. But anyway, when people pull up, I look in their cars. It's kind of habit to make eye contact with everybody that's coming in or driving by me, so I don't get ran over. But I can also see what's going on inside. Wave and see what kind of reaction you get. I've never been out there where I didn't get a wave back or somebody stop and say hi. But while you're out there, make contact with everybody that comes by, whether it's just looking at it as they drive by and give them a wave, or when they're walking up, speak to them, because a lot of times you'll see if something's going wrong. We've had a few new people that are very friendly, and they'll stop and talk a lot, which is great. But this time of year, you kind of want them to get in so they're not cold and just keep them warm. But then at the doors are next. Look at them. If somebody comes in that you don't know and don't recognize, and you can tell if they've been in an argument. They're not happy. You can tell that. Just make a note of it, and then see your lead usher, see me, and say, hey, they're not acting like it's time to go to church on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning, but there may be an issue. Maybe they need some counseling. Maybe they're lost, and are here for a purpose. And whether it's good or bad, you know where I'm going? It's kind of hard to explain that, but they're most likely here to find the Lord. But if they're here for another purpose, it's good to get one or the other kind of help for them. And then at the doors, pay attention. Just everybody's happy. I've never seen anybody walk in here that's not happy, smiling somewhere along the line. This is a very happy church Sunday mornings, and if something's wrong, you'll see it. It'll be obvious to you. But just make sure you contact your ushers or anybody on the security team. And we plan on having either a meeting or a few minutes during service or after service to explain, once it gets going, what the security plans are. We plan on doing evacuation drill, tornado drill, all kinds of things. So it's a shame we have to do it, but for the security side, for the other safety side, I think it's good. Somebody standing up for a lot of people for 45 minutes at the beginning of service, that's a long time for a lot of people to stand up. And some people feel that they absolutely have to stand up during the singing the whole time. And, I've seen it, Monty's seen it, especially at the academy. Somebody standing at attention for a long time, they'll pass out and fall straight down. We have several nurses, several medical staff here. We have firemen here, so, and law enforcement and other trained first responders, so we'll recruit all those people to hopefully help in that kind of situation. So, are there any questions? Everybody good with that? Wow. So, what's the thoughts on security? What kind of security would you guys like to see? There are several guns in here on a Sunday morning. There are. I see them.
Jeff, on TV this evening, I heard somebody on the news say there are 8 states where teachers are allowed to carry weapons during school. Oh, yes, I think so too. Absolutely.
The good guys should have the weapons also. The bad guys are gonna have the weapons. There's no gun laws or anything that are gonna keep the bad guys from obtaining weapons.
Yep,
We need to be a neutralizing factor.
yes. But I just thought that was interesting to know that statistic. I thought it was.
Some people don't seem to think that you need weapons in schools.
Well,
I have a problem.
so anyway, there we are.
I
I was just say, have her speak in the microphone.
When the tellers go back to count, there is usually someone that walks with
I walk
us,
back there.
but there's sometimes not. Can we
Okay.
make sure that someone
Yep.
is signed up and,
Yep.
I don't know, does it bother
But
you?
the lead usher should be doing it
Doesn't
also.
bother her.
The lead usher generally does do it, and he also locks the doors as he comes back through.
They're locked, and when I'm out there, I usually lock them before you guys even head back that way. So, Jim locks them earlier. So,
Hell, I was gonna say,
anything else? Anybody? You good? Okay.
That's all right, I'm fine. I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm, yep. You know, this place is so well-built, and if by chance there would happen to be a fire, you know, we'll work on fire drills, work on getting out. We'll have posted plans on exits and everything, so. Okay, no other questions? Do you have anything? Mhm.
John's next.
John's next.
Everybody loves that microphone.
No, really,
Oh.
do we have to use this?
Yeah, it's recorded. Oh, okay.
Thank you for making it a priority in this day and age that we, that's a good.
Do you want it?
I just saying, thank you for making it a priority in this day and age. It's sad that we have to do it, but
It is sad, but
we have to.
not only is this, you know, a security for a threat, but it's also safety for the congregation, and the other staff, the kids, medical, disaster, everything. So it encompasses the whole gamut. So I think it'll be good, and so hopefully it'll work. There you go.
Thank you, Megan. All right, everybody should know me. I'm John Woolham. I am the lead usher too, and Luann was wanting some more ideas. I think, honestly, me and Jim has talked about it a little bit. We probably need to get out of Sunday school class a little earlier because people nowadays are showing up earlier to the front doors. It's, huh?
Like what time, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, around 10 maybe, because there's more people filtering through at an earlier time anymore. I mean, I don't like it because I like Gary's class, but you know, you're being a lead usher too. It's the job to sign and schedule and do all that. Also, Luann wanted to talk about what the job consists of to a degree, and maybe if you guys have any other ideas as to come out and get the greeters started and where they go, and start with the list that I give to Miss Vicky every Sunday when I do it. We take and we schedule the greeters where they go and the people who passes out the pamphlets or whatever it might be, and we make sure at the Welcome Center, lots of times there'll be stuff that we have to pass out to people too, you know, that we can find in the church to give them different stuff, which is a good thing too, I think. But then when we get done with that, we, of course, we sign ushers. And like I tell everybody, there's some that like certain places, but when you come up to the altar, don't forget we always pass the plates to the right. To the right. Then when we get done taking the offering, we generally either do it ourselves. I do it a lot, or I have Trenton. I know you do it yourself too. We do the counting for all of it in here, and then the nursery and the toddler's room, stage, sound booth. We do all the counting. Something she wants a suggestion, maybe, I don't know, but the last few times I've counted it, it seems like they're dismissing quicker. I got to count quicker. I don't know why. The last couple of times it's been that way for me. Has it been for you? It seems like you can't really play with it. You have to get on it and get it done quick because the songs are over, and when them kids start out that door, you're going to get run over. Trust me. No, I'm just kidding, but I'm just saying there's not enough time to count. I don't know, maybe throwing another song in there or something like that that would give us a little bit more time, because it's hard. What, Dave? Yeah. Well, we get that. We get that too, but sometimes, I mean, I know they go by it, but that song could be longer, it could be shorter before they dismiss the kids. And when that's done, it's harder to count everybody. A lot. A lot of people are moving in and out. In and out. Yeah, there are a lot of kids. But that's okay too. But anyway, after we get the counting done, she was wanting an idea. I'm just saying that's hard sometimes for me. You said it is for you. I'm sure it is with Jim too. After the counting's done, generally I'll get the rest of the tally up, take it to Vicki. We do. I always walk the ushers and the money to the office, always. And I always lock the doors coming back. And like Jeff said too, I'm like him. When it's my turn to lead usher, I sit out there and I watch those two main doors. But we don't want to forget too, we're first impression, we want to make a good impression too on everybody. And I think that's the main goal of it too, is to make good impressions, especially a lot of people that come to the church, new people, and their hands sometimes are not shook or whatever. They just, and like I was telling Luann, that we might need like some floater greeters that can greet in between, like the Welcome Center and this and that for people. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Just two would help. Like when I stand, like Tom will stand at the door when it's my turn, and when I open the doors when the service is over, I always stand at this door. Because there's a lot of people that you really don't know. And that's one reason why I took that job, is because I didn't know very many people in the church. So I figured this is a good way to learn each and everybody in the church. And I would suggest that people do take it, or at least be a greeter, so they'll learn everybody's names. And I still have problems with some names just as well. I mean, but anyway, that's kind of it. After we walk them back through and the doors being locked, and then then I open the doors up, and then I stand over here and I greet too. But I still think that we need more people greeting in the lobby after church just as well. Make them feel greeted as they're leaving just as well as they come in, because that's our job as an impression, to make a good impression on people all the way around. welcoming them. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You mean just the people that you don't recognize, you know?
Well, everybody. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to shake everybody's hand. I mean, I might miss Pam's hand for the morning and might want to shake her, but actually she finds me and gives me a hug. But other than that, I'm just saying, but don't you feel more welcomed when you get a hug or a handshake? Sure. And even in a,
Very noticeable if we visit another church and nobody greets us. It's
right.
so noticeable to us.
I mean, I've been to the other church and I've always seen them greet as you walk in the door, but how many do you really see greet as they leave? Not very many. I mean, I think that's good for us, and that's something that we should do. Handicap parking. I believe that we need more handicap parking out front. Go ahead, Pam. That too. That's a good idea. Visitors parking. Visitors parking. That makes a lot of sense. It's hard to tell. It is hard to tell. It is hard to tell. Can have little signs made up that says visitors parking on it out here off to the side. We do at work.
Right, but have something that when you pull in.
That's what I mean. This way. And then have them marked maybe over here with some little poles or something that says visitors or visitors only. And that way when they park in there, that gives the greeters a good idea to know when they come walking through the door, they're new to the church. Huh? Chris quit. But anyway, that's about it. The things that I've covered. I know Trenton. When I have Trenton, I have him to count. I think personally, people with kids, they have to get their kids started into it too, because that's the future of the church. Just as well, they need to learn it just as well too. I know Trenton does. And Trenton likes doing it, and I'll let him count just as well when I have him. Other than that, that's basically all I have. I mean, something else that'll help too. I've noticed when we usher this side over here, this side so far back waits too. Another good idea is I know when I watch kind of who I put on this side over here, and I'll double plate it. Double plate it all the way down. And I'll tell them I'll double plate it. Regardless, just send it, where you're passing one here, and then you jump with this one over here. You're moving that fast with it. That way, those people back there, they can stand and sing too, just as quick. Or you can schedule 7 ushers instead of just 5 and have 2 more. Take from there back. Jim does that a lot too. Mm-hmm. And start back up to it. No, that's a good idea too. It's just whoever lead usher wants to handle that with that. No. But I think that's an issue too, since this side's just so long. That's what I was telling you that one week, if I could have a plate so we could start zigzagging them back and forth real quick. Because I'm sure people, they want to stand, they want to sing, they want to get into the Spirit. And that's how it is. And that's basically about all I have tonight. I'm probably windbagged, so you know what? Go ahead. No, just the lead usher, because he has to go out and he has to make sure there's nothing at the welcome center to pass out, or to start signing you guys just as well. You guys come out, about 10 after? Something like that? 15 after? Something like that? Huh? Pam, honestly, here lately, if you want my honest opinion, no. Because there's a lot of people that comes through that door before then. A lot anymore, and I've noticed it, and me and Jim's talked about it too. And I said, well, I don't like coming out of Sunday school class. I'd rather just, but that's how it is. I mean, when it's your turn to do what you have to do, you need to be out here.
So you're saying 10 after?
Yeah, I'd say 10 after probably. Instead of a quarter after. Because I try to get out around a little bit right after 10. Somewhere right around. But I'll forget. We'll get into Gary's class and get talking. I'll forget. And, the next thing you know, here it goes, But it is what it is. And like Jeff said on the security just as well, I sat out there, and when Jeff's not there, I sit out there, and you get to watch television, but I always take, and afterwards too, I'll walk and check the classrooms that the kids are in, and at least once, I'll walk out to the parking lot all the way down and look over this way and make sure there's nothing going on this way. The problem would be, more or less. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, but there's a lot of people over there that Jeff knows what I'm talking about. Scary people. Let's just put it scary people. How about that? That's a good way to put it. And then that's part of it too. I mean, and then if Jeff or the parking's not there, which I don't do no more, but we got to have a car count just as well, and you got to go out and count the cars and the vehicles. But that's basically all I have. That's all I have for different ideas, and if you guys can come up with any more, just tell the boss lady here. Tell the boss lady. There you go.
Okay, we're going to talk about, I know you touched on the Welcome Center. Maybe I should just, any other questions about the parking lot, if anyone's involved? Let's make sure. Okay, Doris? I believe that's what we've always been told, so I have not heard differently. Okay. There have been some open spots, but yes, that would be, I think that if we want to look welcoming, we got to have a space for people in the parking lot to say, go on down. Families with small children, I think, should be very welcome to be up here, because that parking lot can be a little crazy to me. And kids are darting out, and so we want to be safe. So yes, that's something I don't think that I've heard. So thank you. Say that again.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see from the main doors straight out and to the south, there's about 20 spots there. Make that handicap and visitor parking. Visitors can be on the highway side, the west side, and handicap can be on the building side. That's just a suggestion, but it would be easier to know when you're coming in, those are our spots. Those are where we can go. So. And if you're out working the parking lot, it makes it a lot easier to know when you see somebody you don't recognize, say, hey, just wave them on down all the way in, say, hey, park on the right side, all the way down.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay, so we pretty much have the parking area covered. The lead usher, any other questions about what their duties are, or, that is the person to go to when you're being a greeter, or the welcome center. It's 10:10 that we're wanting to be at the welcome center for the ushers. We want to talk about possibly having people returning back out to the foyer, either staying in the main area or going to the doors so that you are the last person that a visitor sees. And it doesn't mean you have to stay there till there's no one left, but it really would be nice, especially if you've noticed someone when you've come in, when you've been greeting, that there are some new families or new people, to make sure you touch base as they're leaving and remind them, we hope to see you next. Easter and other holidays, having extra greeters is what you're saying. Okay, that does make sense. We have more people, yes. Okay, then we're going to, any other things that you know about greeting, other than if you're at a door, to open the door. It's been suggested that we put greeters inside in the back of the sanctuary, besides being right outside the door handing out bulletins. Sometimes that gets a little jammed up as groups come in. That way, if someone is looking, if it's not quite started but pretty crowded, we need somebody to say, please feel, let me help you find a seat, or can I help you find a seat? This is a possibility, but we're going to have to do some recruiting of greeters, because otherwise we're going to be all doing it every week or every other week. So we're needing to get some more people involved, especially if we want to add some new positions. Anybody have anything? Shirley? So you're saying we got to make sure that whoever's at the Welcome Center knows what's going on at the sign-up sheets. I agree. We need to make sure so that what's being said in here, we already know out there. Yes.
Who decides who's going to be greeters the next week or two? Is it Vicki or who?
Vicki and Jim work together on that with the sign-up sheets that we all fill out, saying when we're available. John, I believe. So you'd like to do it more, is what you're telling me. I got What we need is probably some subs, some people that can step up when asked. So I'm going to have you just sign yourselves up.
So we'll be regulars and subs.
So you could be a sub. Just write sub at the top for me and put your names on there. That's something that, that's someone we can call you and tell you if we know then, or because I'm sure there's sometimes when people don't come and you don't know it. Mm-hmm. Now you know. Okay. But I agree, I'm only on, I think, once every other month or something. Anybody that wants to be a sub, put your name on there so I can have them call you.
So actually you're a sub and a regular.
And a regular. And I will let Vicki and Jim know that you're wanting, put it on your sign-up sheet when you sign up this next quarter, that you want to do it more often. Okay, we need to explain to the congregation what First Impressions is. Yes, You're absolutely right. I was up there telling everybody they needed to be here, but they had no idea. You're absolutely right. For recruiting purposes, if nothing else, yes. That is definitely something we need to remedy. That's a good idea. Let everybody know what it really is.
Another good thing is, like Jerry and Jim and me being lead ushers too. I know Jerry's called me to fill in for him. I've called Jim just as well, like when I have to work, and Jerry too just as well, and that works out good too.
So being responsible to call a sub for yourself. I think that gives you, that makes you responsible for what, but I know that there are circumstances that people can't plan ahead. But sometimes,
Most generally, they know ahead of time.
so we want to, I appreciate some of you signing up to sub. That will maybe will help that, so that maybe we can keep that list at the Welcome Center, and you'll know who is willing to jump in when needed. Okay, that's great. Welcome Center. We've been asked if you are at the Welcome Center, as uncomfortable as I think it would be to get up while Pastor is saying the final prayer, to get up and walk out back to the Welcome Center. You can do that very inconspicuously. Is that okay? It didn't sound right. Very quietly, which is very difficult for me, unfortunately. But to come out and walk on back while that is happening, so that you are there when that first person walks out of the sanctuary, because that may be the one person that needs to ask you a question.
Well, I think a lot of the greeters need to go out.
Yes, at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Out there ready,
that's something to consider.
they can open the doors as the people are leaving. Sure.
That's true. Yes. Yes. That, okay. Hey. Good. Okay. I agree. We need some more signage. I agree with that. I agree that the Welcome Center, honestly, until I came to this church, when you were on Cherry Street, I didn't know what a Welcome Center was. Well, then it was, I think, a little podium, if I remember right. But there were so many people, I was just overwhelmed. So I never really saw it except at a glance. But I agree. We see that desk, we see a person there, but someone that is visiting would have no idea really what that was. So signage is a big thing, and we've talked about it more than once. It's trying to do it without taking away from what we're trying to say at the same time, I guess, because of it. True. A sign in front of, yes, in front of it, because we've also heard we need signage for classrooms, we need more signage, and we could get a little overwhelmed with too much signs. Our superintendent told us at one of the board meetings he attended, I think last year, when he came here to visit, he had no idea where to come in because there was nothing that said the sanctuary was here, and there was cars everywhere. So he wasn't sure where to come in, and I'm thinking, okay, if he can't find his way in, we might have a problem. So there may be something that's needed outside as well. So. That they can be independent. If they're the more signage, the better. I've been here 5 years, and if somebody said go to the Truth Seekers class, I don't know which one that is. I have to go and read the signs. Right. More signage for classrooms, for adults and children, all of them. And let the Welcome Center be aware of where everybody's at. Mm-hmm. So lead ushers should also be aware of what's being said at the Welcome Center, papers, what sign and sheets, whatever. What's the matter? Okay, we're being videotaped here. Thank you very much. Yes, lead ushers, greeters should be aware because someone may not be comfortable going to the Welcome Center because there's 5 people there signing and they want to know what something is that we may have said in a language that the majority of people in the congregation understand, but a visitor might not have any clue what that means. A fellowship dinner, who is allowed to come? They might not know that. So, agreed. Okay, so we want more information to be available if you're in any part of the first impressions. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. Signage. Anything else? Okay, the leaving part, I know that I was very uncomfortable when I didn't know when to leave to go to be at the Welcome Center afterwards. I didn't know, and when I found out, I said, you want me to get up while we're praying? So maybe we need to kind of pay attention to what is going on and exit prior if you're uncomfortable with that. Okay, so greeters and the Welcome Center person could sit towards the back. That's a hard thing with some families. Mm-hmm. Right. So we might have to say reserved or something. Okay. Well, my husband. So you're thinking that would be more difficult to have to be to the back. Right. Sit towards the back. Right. Right. My husband can't move any further back. If he makes it to the fifth row, we're good. Because he can't hear and he has to be able to see in order to know what's going on and to be able to hear some of what's being said. So I don't want to be sitting in the back and him sitting up here. So that's that. So I agree. So I think we have to do what we're comfortable with, but I don't think it would hurt to have a few of the greeters, if not everyone, to please try to make the effort to go back earlier. Okay. Yes. Okay. We've had the suggestion about name tags. It's been suggested, and there's been some support for the idea of having a table out in the foyer for people coming in to write their name on a name tag and wear a name tag on Sunday. Besides first impressions, people with our fancy ones. This is a suggestion that's been thrown out. Would anybody like to give some feedback? Okay, so you're saying it could be either way. There is an advantage to name tags, there is not. Okay.
Yeah, I got something to say on that.
Good.
I can say a person 3 times, I still won't remember their name.
Okay, so a name tag would help you to remember people's names.
Confront them by their name.
Okay.
I have asked Doug Gillen, his girlfriend's
Yes, I have two.
so many times, and she has told me so many times, and I still have forgotten. What is her first name? Nancy.
Okay, so we have, it would help when we are welcoming people that they're already walked past. It's gonna make commotion out here that's gonna compact that, I think. I think you're.
I just continue to say, hey, you. I'm serious.
Having name tags and trying to do it every Sunday could get. I can see either way. I can see where, maybe one Sunday we do it, try it and see what happens.
The thing about it is, this church is so big, and there's so many people in it. Nobody knows them all anyway. I mean, we know a lot, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're going to forget.
Right.
I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, and I know the majority, but I forget sometimes. It takes, like she said, it takes me a while to that brain to get circulating and get that name out there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't always remember until they've walked by, and I was like, oh, I know who that was. Right, right. You're supposed to put it on the left side, so when you're shaking hands, your eye is looking to the other. So, we will continue discussion on this. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I've been in smaller churches that have everybody had the name tag like we have for first impressions. And everybody, as they came in, just got theirs. So, right. And then yes, that's right. That makes them different. And some people aren't comfortable with that. So, I don't know. Already talked about adding some handicap parking spaces. What is your thinking on having greeters inside the sanctuary? Is that something that, of the greeters, is that something you're willing to be a part of? Okay. Right. Right. And even if we walk up and say, can you let them in? You know, or would you scoot down? One of us would feel more comfortable than somebody that's just visiting is less likely to, they may even tend to turn around and leave because they can't. It's too much. So by us taking them even to that area directly, I think would be helpful. Yes. Right. Mhm. Okay. Any other ideas, suggestions for any of the roles? What I'm going to do is I will take these suggestions and decipher my handwriting and get to these notes to you so that I think so you can make me accountable to help make some decisions on things that we want to do, and so that you are a part of what is done because you're doing the work.
Are we supposed to turn this in? Or
No, nope. Okay. Any other questions as far as job duties? Any other suggestions? Then I want to direct you to that covenant that was passed out. That is something that that is based on the praise team, but we're looking at having everybody that really has a job within the church, of all of us volunteers, to sign. So what I'm asking you, I should say, is will you look it over, read it over? I've tried to take out anything that was directly related to the music part, but again, I'd like you to look it over. If it's something that you think the LBA has kind of said, maybe we need to do this. We need to get all of our groups signing a covenant that they will do these things. So I'd like you to read it over. Yes, I'm giving you homework. Read it over. Let me know what your thinking is so that we can get that revised. I didn't want to retype the whole thing and then find out that there's still more in there that isn't relevant to what we do. So if you'll read it over, we'll pass it out at some point and for signatures for everybody on First Impressions. Anything else? I was pretty determined to have it end at 8 o'clock, so we're getting close. And I can't do this. Here we go. Another little tidbit about First Impressions. It's called Invite Them Back. Ever go on a first date that left you wondering if there's going to be a second opportunity? Maybe at the end of the evening was awkward at best because there was no one saying, I'll call you, or I had a nice time. Can I see you again? So you watched your phone for a text. Now, we didn't have texts a long time ago, so, but we watched the phone. I watched the phone, but it says, so you watched the phone for a text or an email, but it never chimed, dinged, or rang. It's pretty simple. Invite your guests back. Say it from the platform. Make the invitation personal with an exit greeting. Extend your welcome. Don't leave your guests feeling like a jilted date waiting for the phone to see if will be a request for a second date. So we want to make our guests feel welcome. We are, other than the parking people, are the absolute first person they see, but once they're at the building, we are the ones that they see. So we want to make that good first impression. We want to present ourselves in a welcoming way. And I guess I would say, if you're having a rough day, talk to the other greeters, then you'll feel better, I think. If not, maybe you need to ask somebody to take your place. I don't know. I have not quite figured that all out, but you know what I'm saying. You know that I'm saying be friendly, but not overwhelming. Be kind. Show them God's love. That's what we're here for. I don't want to say this again, but any questions or comments? If not, we'll just close in prayer, if you would, please, with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time. We thank you for this conversation, that we can talk to each other, explain our feelings and our ideas to each other. Help us to communicate your love to everyone that walks in your door. We thank you, Lord. Amen. Everybody be safe.